Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, it's been a while since we've had anything to say about Project L because, well, there really hasn't been any news. But that does change today. So we have a potential roster. This isn't a full leak or anything. This is not hard fact, but we have a potential roster for you for Project L. So there's a lot to say about this whole situation. But before we get into the nitty-gritties on the hows, whys this came to be, and then also talking about the roster themselves, let's just go over what might be the potential roster for Project L. The characters are as follows: Ari, Akali, Blitzcrank, Braum, Darius, Echo, Ezreal, Illaoi, Jinx, Katarina, Karma, Kindred, Lux, Rengar, Riven, Senna, Set, Thresh, Vi, Yasuo, Zed, Teemo, and Samira. So that is your potential roster. We're going to talk more about each character in a little bit later on in the video, but for now, how exactly did this come to be? So this comes from Innovate Gaming, a YouTube channel, and you can find a full link to his video covering everything in the video description. And what's going on here is they got a survey through the League of Legends client. So this in and of itself is nothing too mind-blowing here. It's common enough occurrence. But what was the big deal here is the specific characters that were being asked about. And it's asking, do you like these characters? What do you like about them? All that kind of stuff. Go watch their video, once again linked in the video description if you want the full details about the survey. But it's a small amount of characters relative to the very large size of the league roster. And it contains every single revealed character to date so far for Project L, that being Katarina, Echo, Darius, Ari, Jinx, and Illaoi, and then the other characters. So it makes it very suspicious that this survey is very specifically about Project L. League of Legends has over 140 playable characters. That's a lot. And when you do a survey that is specifically 23 characters, and 6 of those characters are the ones that are already 100% confirmed for Project L, it makes it very suspicious, to say the least. Doubly so when a lot of the characters that are not yet announced are the ones that are either very popular and you would want to put in your fighting game, or ones that have mechanics that lend themselves very strongly to fighting games. Like Set is very obviously the grappler, Blitzcrank has the whole get over here Scorpion Spear mechanic, and Samira is literally Dante, and when you have a tag versus game, having a Dante is usually a pretty good thing. So now, to get down to brass tacks here, no, none of this is guaranteed. However, in my opinion, it is very likely. Now that said, there could be characters in Project L that are not in this list, and no one on this list, except for the characters we already know 100% about, are necessarily guaranteed to be in Project L either. So basically what I'm saying here is take it with a grain of salt. That said though, if I didn't believe at least in part in this list, I wouldn't be making this video. The survey as it stands just fits a little too neatly with Project L. So that said, in the essence of just fun, honestly, I want to go through all the characters and give you an idea of roughly, compared to how they are and what their game plan is in League of Legends, what kind of playstyle they might have in Project L. So first up, Ari. Ari, honestly, one of the easier ones because she's already in the game. We know about it. She has an orb mechanic. So she has these 3 orbs and they power her moves, and for each orb she does, she can do a special move, throw them out, as you can see here, and seemingly has obnoxiously long combos. Which I don't know if I'm looking forward to that, honestly, but hey, there we go. So Ari, we have a decent idea already. Akali seems like an easy enough guess. She'll be your high-speed, high-mix-up ninja-style character, because, well, that's kind of what she is. And in League of Legends specifically, she does have a bit of an invisibility mechanic, so expect that to probably make its way into the game some way, somehow, some form. Blitzcrank I could see being a bigger body character. He does have stuff like the shield to help protect him, so he could use that to work his way in. And naturally, he has the big hand, right? That's the Scorpion get over here, and that obviously has to make it into the game. Braum, well, if anyone's going to be the super armor character, he's a pretty safe bet for that. In League, he's all about defense and stuns, and he might potentially be a grappler or maybe just a brawler type. One thing I would like to see is he's a friend to all Poros, and in Runeterra, the card game, he summons Poros, and I would like that to be part of the moveset, if at all possible. Darius, another character we already know for a fact is in the game, so going by the little bit of gameplay we have, seems to be a brawler type of character. Also, apparently has the ability to charge his normals to make them more fantastic and more powerful. Like here specifically, there's a camera shift when it connects, and he can run forward and keep comboing and seemingly holding to juggle after the fact. So anyways, we don't know for sure, but that seems to be the idea for this character. So already well fleshed out, looks like a strong, aggressive character with good range. He's popular, people will like him, it'll work out. Echo is another character we already know about, and he's definitely very complex. This game might have simple inputs, like, you know, special moves are just like forward or back in a button, but he has this whole time dilation mechanic where he can leave a past clone of himself out and then teleport back to it, time bombs, all sorts of weird setups. He'll definitely be a very advanced character for sure. Now for Ezreal, all I really got to say is if anyone's the zoner in this game, you know, the character that wins by spamming projectiles, all that kind of stuff, Ezreal's got to be that character. Alawi, another confirmed character, although there's no gameplay for her. All we know right now is, in their own specific words, Alawi is a big body juggernaut, and therefore probably a character I'm going to play. Basically, she's going to crush people and have the help of her god to do so, although she's not a puppet character specifically. The god, Nakagaboros, just kind of helps on the side. So all we really know is big and slow, and she's going to be hard to stop. Jinx, another character that's already confirmed. Just going by the gameplay that we've seen, long range, apparently a zoner type as well. Lightning guns, chain guns, all that kind of fun stuff, rockets. She'll definitely fight from a range for the most part. And the last of the confirmed characters, even though we don't actually know too much about her gameplay, but going anything by League of Legends, she's going to be fast and annoying. So a pixie rushdown style character, probably heavy on the mix-up and on the teleports, because in League of Legends, she is a teleport character. Now, Karma's probably the hardest one to get a read on, because she's a mage in League of Legends, but she's not like the rain, fire, and brimstone, like tons of destruction magic kind of mage. Like she's more of a chill, like, you know, defensive kind of mage. Has a shield, tether ability, stuff like that. So honestly, she's kind of a wait and see. You at home watching this video, if you have an idea on Karma, I would actually love to hear it. Because of everyone, she's the least like one-to-one easy to translate into a fighting game character. For Kindred, now Kindred, if anyone, Kindred is the puppet character. So like your Carl Clover, your Zato 1, all that kind of stuff. Because Kindred is two characters. It is Wolf and Lamb. Lamb is the white one and Wolf is the big nasty one swirling around. And Lamb can basically send Wolf out to do attacks, all that kind of stuff. So basically makes perfect sense as a puppet character. Just like in Guilty Gear, how Zato sends out Eddie, Lamb would send out Wolf. Now, like Karma before, Lux is also a mage, although unlike Karma, Lux is pretty easy to figure out. She's all about very colorful explosions and lasers. So a zoner, probably a safe bet, filling up the screen with all of her usual obnoxious stuff. Like, in case you don't know, her signature move is a beam, and in a tag fighter, beams definitely have their place. Next we have Rengar, and Rengar's our big scary cat man, and honestly, I could see him playing a lot similar to, like, say, Wolverine in Marvel. He's already got the claws. His whole thing is slashing you down to bits, basically. The one thing, though, he does have some hunter abilities. Like, he has bolas to slow you down. He has nets to hold you in place. So I could see certain things like that being either just straight-up projectiles to slow you down, capture state stuff, or setting traps across the stage to capture you and then beat you up once you're slowed down. Now, Riven's pretty easy, because Riven's your Rekka character, like your Fei Long, stuff like that. I remember, because I was playing when Riven was launched, they straight up said Street Fighter was an inspiration for the character. Her Q in League of Legends is straight up a 3-hit Rekka series, and if you get the third hit of the Rekka, it does a pop-up. So besides that, I can imagine a whole mechanic around rebuilding the sword. She has a broken sword, and her ultimate is the sword rebuilt, and then she's extra scary. So over the course of the match, you could rebuild parts of the sword, and once you have it built, then it's game over, like a Dark Phoenix or something. Lots of potential in a fighting game for the character inspired by fighting games. For Senna, well, Senna is a character with a giant rifle, so kind of writes itself. So Deadshot or Deathstroke Reborn maybe, and if so, people are gonna hate her. That said though, it's a versus game, you got that big rifle. If you can make her a bit like Cable, that would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, as far as the game goes, she shoots her gun a lot. Set? Well, Set's a pretty easy guess. Why is that? Because Set's ultimate in League of Legends is literally a command grab. He picks up a character and basically spinning pile drivers them down to the ground. So it ain't too complicated. Set's gonna be your grappler if anyone is. Besides that, he likes punching a lot, so pretty straightforward. Dude's just gonna be your grappler. Now, Thresh is quite interesting, because yes, he does have, say, like the Scorpion get over here mechanic with the long range sickle, but he can also push people away. And he also has a mechanic in League of Legends where he has the Rage Cage, and if you break the Rage Cage, then you take damage and are slowed around. So he could be basically like a screen control character. Both in that a long range character like an Axel Low from Guilty Gear or Dhalsim from Street Fighter, because he has the long reach with the chain and the sickle, and that like the Rage Cage, he can basically, well, control your movement. Like, I put up a thing here so you do not want to go through it, or conversely, do not want to leave it, right? So that is potentially an angle they can look for Thresh, in that he controls various aspects of the screen through range and special moves. Vi. So Vi is like a boomerang that never gives up. Anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. But yeah, Vi's just going to punch the crap out of you. Like, come on, like, that is what you would want out of her. She's going to be straightforward, rush down, beat down. Like, that's what she kind of has to be, right? Even regardless of how she plays in League, if you have the character with the two giant fists, you want that character to punch people a lot. Like, all these characters, who knows, really? I'm just spitballing, but for Vi, I envision a lot of just moves that rush her forward, and I can see quite a few plus on block moves. So, Yasuo's a samurai who can shoot tornadoes. Now, the thing is, here in fighting games, we already have that niche spoken for. We already have our samurai who throws tornadoes. But still, you know, hey, whatever. He's probably going to be, you know, a samurai, right? Like, just going to use a sword a lot. The biggest thing I'm worried about is they might make him a bit like Virgil from Marvel. And if so, he's going to be very scary. And speaking of Virgil, so Samira is literally Dante. Like, I mean, literally Dante. Like in League of Legends, she even has the Devil May Cry combo system where you start building your combo, you know, B, A, all the way to S rank, that kind of stuff. She's got the pistols, she uses Dante's stinger with her longsword, she is Dante. She's so Dante, the day they announced her over 2 years ago now for League of Legends, I immediately went on Twitter and said she was made for the fighting game first. Her being in League of Legends is incidental. Samira is for the fighting game. And hey, now here we are, right, over 2 years later, and I wanted to say, called it. Thank you very much. So yeah, she's Dante. Samira is going to be the Dante of the game. She's going to play like Dante. She is Dante. So if you want to play Dante in your versus tag fighting game, Samira is your Dante. So Zed, another ninja style character, definitely going to be in like the rush down mix up style of play, if anything. And the thing I already know that's going to be very annoying if it works out the way I think it is he has a very special mechanic in League of Legends, and that's creating clones. He can create shadow clones of himself, and the clones can attack, and he can switch places with the clone as well. So if it works anything like that in a fighting game, that means gimmicks, 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 mix, mix, mix. He's going to be very difficult to block. So if you like gimmicks and mix-up, this is probably the guy for you. And finally, Teemo. What do you say about Teemo? So if you know Teemo, we can just end the conversation there. And if you don't, he's probably going to be the successor to Soul Calibur 4's Yoda, in terms of being an annoying rat that ain't nobody want to fight. Small hurt box, probably going to be hard to hit. Poison, keep away, traps, all that stuff that just makes you want to smash your controller. So, all that now said, once again, here ain't nothing fact. That's why this is a news video. This isn't a leak video, because none of this I can personally confirm for 100%, right? I'm just making the video because all the cards seem to fit into place a little too well, and it seems very likely. Once again, in a game with over 140 characters, they pick barely over 20, and it also happens to include every single character that's already 100% confirmed to be in the game. But still, just because they're on the list doesn't mean necessarily they're 100% going to be in the game, and just because they're not on the list doesn't mean they can't eventually make it in the game or even be there day one. So once again, check the original video linked in the video description if you want to see how this all started, and make your own decisions from there. We do have one more piece of Project L news sometime before the year ends. As of the time of me making this video, the League World Championships just finished up, so it could be in the next few days, it could be in December, hey, who knows? But we do have a little bit of proper news coming at some point soon-ish, and hopefully that'll clear up some of what we went over in this video. I'd like for Project L to at least have a real name by now, so I can stop calling it Project L. We've known about this game for a very long time now. It'd be nice to give it a real name. That all said though, hey, we're at the end of the video now, so let me know what you think in the video comments below, and otherwise, well, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and whenever we get the opportunity to, go out and play some Project L.